a team from Eastern will be also will also be joining. So mine is to welcome each and every one of us so that we be here together and proceed with all our learning. Every question that we are ready to handle any question about the branch, about the topic of the day. I think all of us is welcome. Thank you very much, moderator. You can take it from there.
Thank you very much, Chair. Do we have the officials from Taita Taveta who just introduce themselves, please? Taita Taveta. Okay. When they join in, they will introduce themselves. Okay, allow me to, well, things are tough, right? And we all want to save that extra dime. Statutory deductions have gone up, NHIF, and so that translates to the real income going down despite our gross income staying the same. So I think this training could not have come to a better time than now. We need it like yesterday, and we pray that we all get something out of it. Allow me to introduce FSCCP Daniel Githinji, who is highly dedicated and committed professional of diverse experience. He is an independent corporate and personal finance consultant, business strategist, a conference speaker, and a trainer. Daniel has previously worked with African-based corporation, taking leadership roles in operations and finance, business school and public university, teaching finance and accounting at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. He has sat in Institute of Commercial Management, Kenya Council, and SACCO board as non-executive director. Kindly unmute, kindly mute, please. Kindly mute. Executive Director. He has served as a chairman for Curriculum Development Task Force with our world-class finance professionals examining body. Financial accountant Githinji has attained in-depth consultancy experience nationally, regionally, and internationally, spanning over 12 years. He has impacted over 350,000 plus business leaders, company employees, and SACCO members directly and indirectly as a corporate trainer and business strategist, both in the public and financial sector, SACCO sector, learning institution, non-governmental organization, as well as in churches. FA Daniel Githinji influence is in live transforming talks and capacity building in areas of financial intelligence, financial planning and retirement, SACCO governance, strategic planning, sustainable growth, business development services, business mentorship, risk management, regulation and compliance, credit and debt management consultancy, and team building activities. FA Daniel Githinji is also a volunteer church leader, community leader, and civic education mobilizer. A volunteer business coach and mentor to youth getting into business and training on financial literacy to church members on pro bono basis. Have coached several young credit professionals on how to brand themselves to create value for the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Mr. Daniel Githinji. Karibu sana, and the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, CHRP Samoe. Good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good. I hope everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, go to the chat and just type yes, so that I know we are
Good
together.
morning. I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Okay. Samuel says yes. Isaac says yes. Good. Thank you so much. Emma says yes. So that confirms then that I'm audible enough. I'm audible enough for you to hear me. Thank you, Dorothy. Dorothy says yes. So thank you so much. I wish to start by thanking the leadership of the Coast/Eastern IHRM branch run by Isaac Bohit, my friend, whom we made contact with sometimes last year during a training that I was conducting for one of the particular circles is in the Coast region on financial literacy. And I'm very much glad and pleased to join your team this morning. Have a conversation briefly about how we can read teams that we are reading at different companies that are represented in this forum this morning. How do we read them into financial and making sure that the teams are empowered? So I wish to thank each and every member. I don't know whether in your organization you call them committee members or you call them executives. So thank you so much. Each and every one of you in the leadership feel recognized, and each and every professional who has logged in feel recognized this morning. I know that you've sacrificed a bit of your time for this engagement. My prayer is that the conversation we shall have shall at least spark a right bulb moment in you and make me and you to recognize something we need to tighten our belts on, or something we need to put our socks on, or something we need to start, because we are all of us in the race to end poverty. And it's possible, yeah, of course. We need to empower. The fact is that God has blessed each one of you with a chance and a privilege to make a difference in your personal life and also make a difference in the life of your immediate family, make a difference in the life of your society and community, and make a difference in our nation and the nations. So even as you make your financial decisions and choices, those choices and financial decisions do not affect you alone. They affect you and those that depend on you, whether directly or indirectly. Yeah, so directly, your nuclear family depends on you and even yourself. Indirectly, the community depends on you, the company depends on you, the nation depends on you. So that's why we need to make financial decisions that really hand value. I want to also start by thanking each one of you for joining this morning session. You know, Albert Einstein said, once you stop running, you start dying. And I know for a fact that this is not the first time these professionals that are joined this morning are interacting with financial literacy, kind of a training, personal finance or financial management, debt management at personal level. It's not the first time. So I wish to really, really thank you for the humility to join. Because, you know, you could have asked, our branch now has organized another thing on financial literacy. Really? Yeah, I know, that's a fact. Yeah, but I wish to thank you because of the humility you have shown for you to join, to learn from peers and also to learn from the industry practice. So I want to start by asking a question, and I want you to go to the chat box and help me to answer this question. How your employees manage their personal money affects their productivity and your company brand. True or false? Please go to the chat box. Let's have a conversation on that. Yeah. How your employees manage their money affects. Yeah. Samoe says yes. Rose says true. Yeah. Eric says true. Philomena says true. Maybe let me ask Philomena to unmute and let us know why is it true? And what's the connection between their personal money and productivity? Kindly, Philomena.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It does affect their productivity in such a way that if they have whereby they get less due to loans, so you find that they are productive. Sometimes it may cause absenteeism. Sometimes they'll be either borrowing money from friends, and in such a way that they're not able to meet their financial obligations. So it ends up affecting their productivity. I'm sorry, niko na homa, sababu naongea hivi.
Oh, sorry. It's okay. We wish you quick recovery. It has been quite a rainy weekend. Thank you for that. Yes, so Philomena says the connectivity here is that you may find an employee sometimes may slide into absenteeism and may slide into low take home in terms of disposable income because of the loans they are picked, etc. Eric Mudhomi, you say yes. So what's your yeah, Eric, you could unmute.
Okay, yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning to you,
my
sir.
take is that for an employee to be fully productive, they have to be in a position they can balance between their personal life and even their work life. So if you can't manage your money personally, it means there are other areas that will be affected even in your work. So you want to be fully focused in your work because now there are some struggles that you are going through life. Maybe money, you don't have money, you are taking loans. Maybe there is a salary advance. Everything is not working for you. That's my take.
Thank you, Eric, and thank you, everyone. I know if we had more time, it was a physical session, we would have had a deeper introduction. But let me say this, that a financially intelligent employee is a productive, a financially intelligent employee. So when we say that you are reading a financially intelligent employee, it's an employee who really understands how she or he manages our expenses, how he or she manages our incomes, how he or she manages his debts, personal debts, how he or she understands assets and how to create various types of assets that will lead to him having alternative sources of income that does not necessarily affect him being available for the employer, neither does they give him sleepless nights, or they cause him to be physically at work but absent. For example, if the employee has invested in an asset that is not regulated, they will always be in a panic and fright mode. So even when they are at work, they are physically present because they must come to work and clock in so that you pay them end of the month, but they are not there physically. So the landscape of how financially intelligent the men and women working for you or with you are, it really hands value to the productivity of the organization. If they can't organize themselves at a personal level, really you've got a bigger task. So it essentially means then this employee needs to strike a balance as one of the colleagues has put it. Now, those of you who read or view the Business Daily, those who read Business Daily, they saw a caption that was talking about the Kenyan retirees are ranked among poorest globally. Yeah, yeah. The Kenyan retirees are ranked poorest globally. Who could let me look on to the people who are logged in. Amina Mohammed. Good morning, madam. You could unmute and give us, what do you think makes the Kenyan employees to be ranked poorest globally? Amina, if you could manage to unmute, or Millicent Atemo. Amina, you could be with us. Amina Mohammed. Let me check for someone.
Sorry, I'm here, but kindly repeat, because I think I was a bit absent-minded at one point.
Oh, sorry for that. Now,
yeah.
There was a publication up on the Kenyan Business Daily that was talking of what I've screened on the screen, that is talking of Kenyan retirees are ranked among poorest globally. Actually, this is yesterday's publication.
Yes.
So what could be, what could you maybe give us the indicators or the things that make them, some of our colleagues or even ourselves, to slide into that?
The indicators is poor planning, whereby most employees just work and they do not save for their retirement age. So when they retire, they tend to, there's a research that I saw that shows that most retirees who have not planned properly, or those people who wait until their retirement age, normally die in the first 2 years after retirement. And this is because they are used to a culture of waking up and going to work. And now all of a sudden that culture is no longer there because they have retired, and they feel a bit frustrated, and they have not planned well, and there's no money coming in every month like they used to get. So they tend not to adapt to adapt to that lifestyle, and therefore it even leads to their ill health, and they retire within 2 years after retirement. So when they say Kenyan retirees are ranked among poorest globally, yes, I agree with them. It's because we've not had right measures put for our employees so that they are able, once they retire, they are able to plan and retire in a good way. Retire like, you know, even people just aspire to retire because they have invested and they have already planned for retirement, and they know that the retirement will be the sweetest thing they have on earth at that time. So I think that is one of the things, poor planning.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, madam, for those insightful and punching comments. Exactly. So the issue is planning. And I can see also in the chat, Hedna says poor financial management. Eric says lack of financial literacy on how to plan for the retirement. Hedna still again says some of these people, they use the terminal benefits to build homes. Yeah, I can't agree anymore with that. It's a fact. Failure to plan, etc. So Arif, is it? I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Mauridi, lack of planning for retirement. Yeah, so this seminar, this conversation we are having, essentially as the team leaders, because you are the people that are managing, you are people leaders. You are actually, if you may permit me, ladies and gentlemen, CHRPs, an HR professional, I would equate him in terms of esteem and respect in the community, just like our teacher is. Why? because the employees look upon you for mentorship, they look upon you for coaching, they look upon you for role modeling in terms of personal behavior, corporate behavior, and therefore this morning conversation or this conversation we are having today, really you are the people to inform generations. At least of the people you are entrusted with as the coaches, as the mentors, as those people who they look upon for guidance. Because really, colleagues, it hurts when you find somebody has retired from your corporate and then they look tattered just 2 months after you have retired them. Some of them, they will keep knocking at your office saying, Madam, sir, would you hand me some more days, some more months? Depending with how variable their skill sets and competencies are needed by the organization, you may retain them, but you can't retain them for life. So there are challenges that behold you managing them for productivity that we can be able to really impact. So I know none of the HR professionals would really be joyful to see a person who retired from his organization living a very reckless or very poor, miserable life. So this conversation is part of protecting the brand that you are working for. So my objective will be to have a conversation amongst ourselves this morning that will lead to us to protect the company brand that you are leading, and also to lead the teams that are financially literate. Now, the areas of discussion this morning will be, does your employees represent your brand positively by how they interact with their money, not with your money, sorry, with their money. Number 2, why is personal finance personal? Then 3 types of capital each one of us has to understand for him or her to be on the path or on the radar towards financial independence. And then the pillars of personal finance that would affect how we interact with the 3 types of capital each one of us has to understand, because already we have those 3 types of capital at our disposal. Then when our moderator was introducing the session, she said that much more levies, much more taxes, if we use that terminology, and deductions are being handed to the already not growing pay slip. So how then, number 5, what are the antidotes to beating inflation? And the key thing is we are doing all this because even after we retire, we need to be financially and non-financial. So my coined theme around the topic that was given to me by the leadership, I called it financial intelligence staff is a product. So health is not absence of disease or infirmity. It is both the psychological, sociological, and well-being of a person. So financial wellness, which is in green here, is part of what I shall handle, but I shall leave the other areas of wellness, that is spiritual, emotional, intelligent, physical, social, and environmental wellness. I will not really touch much about them, but I will give a connection between all other types of wellness to the financial wellness. Now, the irony of these conversations, that because I know it's not the first time you are in this conversation, is that our schooling system none of our schooling system taught us how to relate with money. Personally, I have been a university lecturer for the last 10 years, since 2011, should be now 12 or 11 years, teaching financial management. And there is no single day we teach the graduates that you are employing or recruiting on how to deal with their personal money. Because the curriculum teaches how they will manage corporates' money, how do that finance professional, when you employ them in your company, they are able to understand the returns on asset, returns on investment, to question you, HR professional, when you are employing on what's the value of this job in the organization. And we only coach them, prepare them to manage the money of the share. So is every one of us who is in this session this morning. I would quickly ask ourselves this question. If I go to the chat box, let me assume 844 system. Permit me for illustration's sake to use the 844 system. Assuming every one of us, please forgive me if you went through the previous system before the 844 system. So let me use 844 system for example. For 8 years, you are in primary school. For 4 years in your high school, and another 4 years you are in university. And depending on whether you went back for your second degree or master's, you are there for another 2 years. Yeah. Let's even leave it at 844. So for 16 years, you are in school. There is no single day you were prepared on how the day you receive your first paycheck or income, how to live with it. I hope this now can make every HR professional realize when you pay the first payment you make to your new employed people, or even yourself, how you used that money. Basically, you find that that money went either to liabilities that are no longer earning you nothing. So this conversation can never really, it has to date back into how we were wired. How are we wired concerning money? How are we schooled? Even when it comes to our family setups, we don't even teach money matters to our children. Yeah, so you would find it's easier for you as a parent to carry a suite or to take your son or daughter. Is it wrong? No. It is okay to go for holiday. It's okay, by the way, to go for at least once as per your plan per se, to eat out. It's okay to go to the shopping mall as per your plan. But also, as you do that, are you the person who is affecting generations by making them consumers only, or also producers? How do you make yourself a producer? It is when you become part and parcel of the owners of the factors of production that earns money. This way, if, for example, you have a CDS account with CBK, you've opened one for your child, and you're investing through infrastructure bonds, then you are part of the people that are producing, yeah, because you'll be earning more. So these are conversations really that we need to, all of us, even push at family setups, yeah. I'm currently engaged in a program where we are taking children as little as 5 years of age on how to invest and what really money means. So this is the conversation. So being literate really does not necessarily mean financial literacy. Yeah, being literate does not mean financial literacy. Let me give an example of that. How many of us can tell me how much money did, go to the chat box, how much money did our country lose in terms of US dollars to the investment scams last year? Let me check those of us who interact a little bit with the financial information. Or if you are a culprit, you can go to the chat box and say you are conned via a cryptocurrency scheme. Yeah. Let me help ourselves there. Now, last year, Kenya is estimated to have lost 120 million to cryptocurrency schemes. There is one that happened around March, May, June last year. Let me hope none of the professionals listening to me who was affected or any of their parents are affected, or any of the employees they work with or friends in the church or the temple or the mosque or the, yeah. So there is one scam that happened with a cryptocurrency that was being known as stable BNB. And I remember warning one of my friends not to invest in something they don't understand. They told me, you know what? This thing is promising a return of 3.5% per day. So you can accumulate and see how much I'm earning. So I told the person, invest in something you really understand, something you know how money is made. So if, for example, today I'm to invest in Safaricom shares, I know the company is registered company. It operates under the rules of CMA, Capital Markets Authority. I know Safaricom makes money from voice, makes money from data, and makes money from partnerships they have with various organizations in terms of their payment platforms, etc. And this person, once they lost the money, it's a question of financial literacy. I saw someone who took 3 million to put in a cryptocurrency scheme. 3 million. That's why I encourage you professionals. It is important that you really do due diligence before you invest. So the other part of my conversation is based on this. There is no elevator to success. You have to make or take the staircase. You have to invest, reinvest, take advantage of the compounded interest. So I don't expect going forward any of the employees you are managing, not you caution them about these scams. Because anything that is whipping your emotions, and please never invest emotionally. I know currently we professionals in finance, we are studying something we call behavioral finance, but make sure due diligence happens. Investors' life cycle. Each one of us goes through this investor life cycle. There is a day we were small kids. Now majority are before the person holding the golf club. Yeah. So let me skip this. Now, as I go through this conversation, I wish to remind us the following. I am an advocate of living decent, affordable, manageable, and meaningful lifestyle. So I'm not advocating for stingy living. I'm advocating for leading teams that are living decent life. When I think, is it Eric or Philomena? Yes, Philomena, when she was giving the connection between productivity of the employee and financial life, she mentioned things like loans, things like salary, etc. Now, when I talk of living decent life, affordable, manageable, and meaningful life, I mean, if, for example, you yourself or the employees you are leading, they are taking more than 25% of their net income to rent or mortgage, then they are not managing themselves well. If you find you are giving out more than 5% of your net incomes, Mark, I am using the word incomes because salary is one source of income. So if you are giving more than 5%, for example, to your relatives, yeah, supporting or giving to church, mosque, temple, yeah, really, Yeah. So if you are having more than 25% of your salary going to paying loans, it hurts most if the loans you took are not earning. So those are the conversation I will be having with us. Number two, I'm an advocate of individual responsible financial decisions that takes care of yourself and others that concerns you. Really, every financial decision you take affects you and the people around you. Financial decisions made by your staff will affect the reputation of the company, their personal reputation, and reputation of their social circle. You don't want to be the person who is postponing your savings, person who is postponing putting money in the money market fund. You don't want to be that person who is postponing opening a CDS account with the central bank for you to start trading with government instruments. And then you find your sunset years, you don't have any money to sustain yourself. Really, that's not the case. So I am encouraging responsible financial decisions for the teams we read and for others and for ourselves. Responsible borrowing decisions, number three. I really want to implore each of us professionals and also pass this message to the teams that you are reading. Responsible borrowing comes whereby we borrow for economically viable needs. You can't have somebody who is having one source of income, one source, salary. Then is netting.
There was even say Lascelles was a principal. He would have come.
Okay. Yeah, you could probably mute. Thank you. Somebody who is having only one source of income, say this person is having a net income of 100K from his salary, then he is servicing a car loan of say 25,000 per month. Yeah, already he has created a liability and he has not multiplied the sources of income. You cannot have somebody who is borrowing to upgrade his lifestyle, that he wants to change the furnitures in the house with her own. They need to develop patience of develop assets. If this person had patience of this, yes, is it okay to have a car? Yes, it is okay. But if it's within your ability to manage, living good life, yes. Nobody, I don't want anybody living a bad life. Yeah. But we have to balance from the statements that are being fronted around. Yoro, sijui yoyo. You only live once. Sijui, you are on your own, you know. No. Earning asset is anything that is bringing money to your pocket or to your bank account. An earning asset would be you have a Uber that is plying a certain route that is giving you money. You have got a small packaging plant that is packaging water for sale. Yeah, you have got rental property that is bringing you money. That's what we call earning assets. You have got treasury bonds that are bringing you treasury bonds income. That's an asset. You've got you are using your skills to offer consultancy. They are bringing you money. Okay, so we will come back to that asset. Then might you find yourself then you need to borrow for personal debts? Don't have more than 30% of your total personal debts in non-earning assets. So if, for example, you borrow a loan of your total loans, credit facilities you have is 1 million, don't have more than 30% of that money go into non-earning assets. Non-earning assets is any asset that is not generating cash flows. That's what we call an non-earning asset portfolio. So things like, if, for example, you borrow for to pay rent, to pay for clothes, to pay for cosmetics, to pay for holiday, to pay, please, those things, save for them. Save for those things. Plan, take action. And number 5 is what really I will take much time on. Plan, take action. Have multiple streams of income. Now, again, let me come to this. As HR professionals, quite often, as HR professionals, quite often you have dealt with a case of pecuniary embarrassment presented by a family, society, employee, or even concerning money management issues by one of your employees. I know you are confronted with these issues whereby somebody will turn up. I dealt with a particular HR professional who had got a case she was handling of an auctioneering entity that went to the company premises, and they straight went to the HR office and said, they brought the HR letter of that particular employee was not paying her own, and they had come for the purpose of seeking to attach the HR to attach the salary of that employee. Yeah. Or another one where you find a family is coming and saying, we never find any money. Our father or mom, they seized the money, we can't go to school. Those issues, we find them, and you can advise. Quickly, let me put it this way. There is a difference between wealth and status. Wealth is having assets that pay you while you sleep. And wealth is not status. Wealth is having assets that harm you while you sleep. But so the question you need to ask yourself is that, are you chasing, in the way you are handling your money, are you chasing wealth or status? A quick question to ask professionals is, how many hours do you pay your employees a day? Leaving overtime alone, leave overtimes. If I'm not wrong, I am not that much conversant with the labor laws. I know at least an employee minimum, or is it minimum or maximum? I don't know how to put it. An employee will work for 8 hours in a day, and or maximally the employee should work 44 or 45 hours per week. So if we divide this by maybe 5 days or 6 days, they are working roughly for 8 hours or so. So that means the rest of the hours, what is earning them besides the skills? Because all of us listening this morning, where you are working, the only asset you are selling to that company right now is your skills. So it's the skills that are earning you the much you earn end of the month. Then the X amount you earn end of the month, you should use it to create multiple streams of income to earn you, even as you work diligently, with loyalty, with integrity and honesty to that company. But the X amount, the skills you are selling to that company are bringing you, you should put it in at least 2 to 3, or 3 to 5 other types of investments that does not need your physical presence or does not need you with much of the time. You can manage them even as you manage your time at the employee. So chasing status will leave you broke and unfulfilled. Yeah, chasing status leaves a person broke and unfulfilled because they can't feel that horror space within their heart, whereby they just want to live in a life they can't sustain, a life they cannot be able to manage, or even they cannot be able to keep momentum with. Rich versus wealthy. Being rich is having just pile of money. Being wealthy is having pile of cash producing assets. Being wealthy is having a pile of asset or cash producing assets. Yeah. So besides, for example, skills, which is your asset, your skills and competencies is an asset. So these skills and competencies plus your time, you are saying 8 hours plus your skills and competencies, at least 8 active hours. Let me put it that way, because I know sometimes you can work even when you are away from work. So skills and competencies, they are giving you X amount of money. Besides skills, what other asset is earning for you? Do you have money in the money market funds, money market fund? Do you have any asset that is earning you from fixed income securities, fixed income securities? Maybe you have invested in the government securities. Do you have money earning you from real estate? Do you have any asset in the business? Yeah, so, sorry? Right. All right, maybe the participant could mute a bit. Okay, let's proceed. So besides then, your skills, I've said you need to have other assets that are producing you. And you can do personal check. Do a personal check. Maybe I would wish each one of us to write this as a takeaway question for themselves. How many assets do you have that are producing income for you, besides your skills and competence? Yeah. So, and how long your assets can fund your lifestyle if you don't have the salaried job? Because now that now reflects on the part of the conversation around retirement. So how? Being rich is unsustainable. Without assets, simply if you're only relying on one asset, skills and competence, even if you are the employer, because you know I'm speaking to the employers today, or the people who carry the veto power to sign those letters. If you have no other asset besides your job, you are basically one job redundancy or retirement away from poverty, which is not right. And I know we can multiply. I'm not naive. I know I'm speaking to investors. So to some, I am just spiking you to do more. If you have one asset, you can make them two. If you have got two assets, you can make them three, but an asset that is bringing money. So there is then difference between prestige trap and how to overcome it. To avoid prestige trap, you need to create a range between your income and expenditure. I'm an advocate of creating multiple streams of income to attack your expenses. Because even if you, for example, if you have 100,000 as your income per month, there is the much you can be able to cut expenses, and there is a limit you can't exceed. Otherwise, you will affect the quality of your life. So the question is, how do you make from 100,000, how do you multiply it in terms of making more? Yeah. So financial literacy is very key because our traditional financial systems or schools, they don't teach this. And a matter of fact, I know each of us professionals who are here, there is no single day you interacted in the formal education system, you being given an area to sit down and talk about how to deal with your money. And that's why you find it's not a national interest, except that I am finding the current government is concerned a little bit of the savings to GDP ratio and all that. Maybe let me ask ourselves this question. Because majority, this is Coast and Eastern Branch. So even, let's take an example, those of you who have found the Chinese who are building the SGR. How many days did you find them in the pizza places? You found them patronizing some joints and all that. I had a conversation with one of those Chinese. Why don't we find them sleeping in the crabs or sleeping in high-end hotels like Pride Inn, and they are the people who are constructing the railway, or you find them sleeping at White Sands. They sleep in their hostels. They construct hostels. They eat in a mesh. Yeah, they buy common food pamoja. But they save a lot back to their country. And they told me that's why you find them giving us money. But if you find the British nationals for that, or you find other nationalities, if they come here as expatriates, they will live in high-end estates. They will live in high-end hotels. Even ourselves, the same happens. So the savings rate, if the country national savings rate to GDP is 10 to 12%, similar is us as individuals. Yeah. Now, how do you to ask yourself? Let me ask this question on the chat and encourage each one of us to go there and answer. So, what do you understand by the money factories? What do you understand by money factories? When we say many high income earners, the last point on your screen, when we say many high income earners maintain other people's money factories without any efforts to build their own. So what do you understand by the term money factory? If you have ever come across it again, or in your own understanding, and how does high income earners like yourself sustain the money factories? Let's go to the chart, or let me pick somebody to explain to us. Rose, let me pick CHLP Rose Suja. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Yeah, CHLP Rose. Kindly, you could unmute and give us, what do you understand by that term? Rose? Someone else here, Rose, she seemed not to be, yeah. Sharon, are you there? Sharon? Yes, who is on the mic? So, yes, Sharon, Rose, yeah, you could unmute your mic and give us your understanding. When I say that many high income earners maintain other people's money, money factories without any efforts to build their own. If you're in a position, yes. Rose Onish says hello.
Rose, you can continue. Rose.
I can see Philomena says, I think we spend more money on consuming goods and services. Eric says we generate money for others. May those who have employed. Let me look for Rose. Maybe she could be having a technicality, but I hope she's there. Johan Tonui. All right. All right. So to save on the time, let me put it this way. Most of the big corporates you find around and the mainstream banking system that you find within the economies, they survive on, or their growth depends on us who make poor financial decisions. As Philomena has put it, you find that it is easier for these corporates to start. Take an example of how some of these fintechs have grown very fast. I will not mention names from a professional sense. But find how most of these fintechs that are ending around, have they grown very fast? It's because there is somebody who put down his capital and charged it very expensively. Some of those fintechs, they give loans at 3.5% per month, fixed, meaning that 3.5 per month fixed. So you multiply that by 12. So that comes to how much? How much are they giving in terms of the loans? 3.5%. Yeah. So you find they are giving loans at 42% per annum. And you find a person who is a high income earner, because he wants to get a loan quickly, even when they don't have a plan and they don't take time to ask which lender do I go for this credit facility from, they end up paying expensively. You find some of these higher purchase organizations, they survive on these high-end income earners. So the question is, you as a person, how are you taking time for you to understand some of, how are you taking some of the decisions you are taking today that will affect you tomorrow, because you are basically funding. You find somebody will come with some interesting ways of you paying for your vehicle, interesting way for you, even paying for some of the products that we are buying, because Kenyan are the people who are heavily invested in products. Every. And I can bet you, I may not be, let me not use the term prophet, but I know out of us who are here in this forum this morning, 98% of us, or 90%, they own a product somewhere. Is it wrong? No. But is it financially intelligent? It's dependent on whether it is generating you anything. I shall come back to that when we shall be asking ourselves a question of how do we balance our assets portfolio. So we need not to be lured into some of these, because you find even how much we get in financial issues. So I leave that. Let me come to this quickly. Financial wellness does not happen by chance, and there is no switch to wealth. How long it took you to be a professional where you are, you know it took you more than 16 years being in school alone for you to be trusted as an HR professional. A minimum of probably 16 years, 8 in primary, 4 high school, 4 in college or university, and accumulated with the much other certificates and certifications you've gotten. So financial wellness is a process. It takes time and it's a journey and a different one for each one of us. And if you want to be wealthy, you have to be disciplined at it and take control of what you can and remain agile and flexible to whatever happens. And everyone listening and the teams that you read, they are in a storm or a wave of life. Somebody took a loan or they are currently paying 3 loans. They can't be able to show anything they did with that money. Somebody made a poor purchase decision. They bought only liabilities, which they are keeping funding through their salary, or even the teams you are reading. Much of the counseling that you do could be the trigger or something that is the root cause of the change on behavior on some of these employees. I'm not meaning it's everything about it. It's that some could be root causes on money issues. The key thing is that you cannot outsource your destiny for wealth creation to someone else. You've got to be real. And this is where I really call for an action. Reality means if you are saving from your salary, for example, how much are you saving? If you have got at least to save 20% of your income, 10 to 20%. All right. So if you have to save 10 to 20% of your income, are you saving as per your goals, or you are saving just because somebody told you we need to save? Do you have a savings plan? You are saving for what? Towards what? What is the end game? If you are putting 2,000 as your savings per month, then that means it's 24,000 per annum. What are you intending to achieve? Being honest is asking yourself, are you saving according to your ability? Being honest is asking yourself, myself and the teams that I read, are they only dependent on salary income? That's the question of honesty, because the matter of fact is, I am a person who encourages everybody to be loyal, to be people of integrity, transparent, and faithful to the employer they have at hand, and they give their all and their best to be best in what they are given. But the honest position is that employer needs you for 8 hours. God has given you 24 hours in a day. These remaining 16 hours,
Yes.
are they handing you anything? Do you have savings in a circle that can generate you income end of the day? Do you have shares that are either appreciating in value or that are generating you capital, dividend income? Do you have a business that is generating you money even as you work? You are an employer, yeah? You are an employer. Personally, I'm an employer of 9 people, myself included and my wife. So we've created 11 jobs. If you can be able to create a job, you have got your Uber, that is, you've employed a driver. You build, for example, a rental property, you have employed a caretaker. You are investing in government security, so you have a financial analyst guiding you. We are the people to create employment, because me and you, we know where you are working, there is a limit of number of staff you can employ, depending with the jobs that are there. So being honest is ask yourself, how are you using your time and how are you generating more money besides salary? Being involved, it is to say, and that with all humility, I know your leadership in this forum this morning, it's not the first time you have organized a financial literacy engagement or talk, whether in your coast branch or even national seminars or even at your workplace. Being involved is that, did you take action? Action to sit down and plan for your finances. Action to start personal budgeting. Action to go to that CBK branch and open a CDS account. Action to go to the CMA website, scan through the investment bankers, choose one, go open a CDS account, start trading with NSE shares. That's what I am calling involvement. Action, if you are interested in farming, to go to YouTube. If it's poultry farming, you start analyzing what it takes to be a good poultry farmer, what it takes to be a good hash avocado farmer, what it takes to be a good, to put up a goon saron, to put up a goon kinyozi, to put up a water bottling plant, to put up a marrying factory. You can start packing fra. So being involved is the actions part. And by the way, honorable professionals, all these other things we're saying, without action, nothing changes in life. It is until you sit down and say, the dream you have, convert it into a plan. Please don't be like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King only had a dream, but he needed a plan. Dream is not a goal. For the sake of pronunciation, let me spell that word. G-O-A-L. A dream is not a goal. Dreaming to have a good financial life is different from setting goals. Dreaming to have a personal built home is not the same as putting down a plan on how will you build that house. Dreaming to own shares in Nairobi Securities Exchange is different from taking action on which counter will you invest in, how does that company make money, analyzing your risk preferences. That's what I'm calling being involved. Getting engaged is a part of starting off. Now that you've heard about money markets, concern yourself, how does money markets work? Do you have what are the instruments in the money markets? We have got unit trusts. Which organizations are offering them? There are several that are listed under CMA. They are licensed. And I want to encourage your people, Honorable Chair, Mr. Isaac, I'm encouraging your people to first build assets from perspective of regulated investments. They will give them peace of mind. So please, honorable colleagues, it's a question of only actions will lead to better you financially. Only actions will lead to better you financially. Only actions will lead to better you financially. Let's do a check. Now, investments, it's a question of, let me pull this down a bit around this. Okay, so let me come to the types of capital that we have. No, I was looking for, yeah, this is what I was looking for when I talk of action. When I talk of action, this is what I'm talking about. When I talk of action, this is what I'm talking about. There are so many investments vehicles I could have listed, but I gave few of them because of the illustration's sake. But before I come to this, let me ask ourselves, when we talk of investment sources, salary is one of them, yeah? So besides salary, take an example of when you had last year, or not actually last year, March this year, the government of Kenya listed something we call infrastructure board. If you bought the infrastructure board that was floated by government in March, please go to the chat box and say yes or no. How many of us invested? Let me go back to that. How many of us invested in the infrastructure board? We are busy taking care of the financial needs of our families and relatives that we don't. Yeah, Janet, the only way to avoid black tax is to ask you, because taking care of others is okay. And nothing wrong with taking care of the family and relatives. But there is the limit you can. You can't be Mother Teresa. You can't be World Vision. If I go matters faith, you can't be Jesus. You can't save everybody. Some of them you are taking care of is because you don't want to teach them how to fish. Anyway, let me come back to the chat. Please, I want to request you professionals, go to the chat box and type for me there. How many of you know what is a CDS account? CDS account. And don't Google, just give me what you understand. What is a CDS account? Yeah, I encourage you to go to the chat box. Let's go to the chat box. Somewhere says account for shares. Thank you, somewhere. For sure, I don't know. Someone says, let me not mention their name. It's an account you open with Central Bank. Yeah. An account for buying and selling shares. Account number given when you have shares. So basically, that tells me as we could be having a CDS account. Again, let me ask another question. How many of you have invested in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, NSC? If you are an investor in NSC, raise up your hand. Go to the chat box and raise up your hand. If you are an investor in NSC, or if you are an investor in government securities, please raise up your hand. Government securities. Someone says I was stopped. I was stopped. Maybe, Madam, I am, but through CIC. Betty says through CIC. Hey, you people, Honorable professionals, you want to tell me you've not invested through these vehicles? Don't fear, just go to the chat box. Just go to, I didn't want to ask circles because I know substantial majority of you are in a circle. Even at your workplace, there is one. At least I know of one circle in Mombasa known as Mombasa Port Circle. Edna says not yet. All right, let me ask Betty. Betty, could you unmute your mic, please? Betty?
Yes.
Yes, how have you invested through CIC?
Okay, I opened an account with CIC where on a monthly basis I send some amount to invest in the money market.
Aha, so Betty says she opened a money market account. She opened a money market account with CIC. Thank you for that, Betty. Somoe, maybe could you unmute your mic, CHLP Somoe? What stopped you?
Yeah, I actually said I was holding a CDS account, but then I stopped. I stopped because I'd invested with a company that went under, and the recovery process was pretty hectic. So after I finalized, I sold them off and I stopped investing in it. Yeah.
Aha. Okay. Apologies for that. Still be on mic. I ask you another question, Madam Somoe.
Yes.
When you are employing a new employee in your organization, KYC plays a key important role.
Yes.
Now, take the same knowledge to the investments world.
Yeah.
You do proper due diligence and forecasts for that organization before you invested.
Yes.
As in, you understood how they make money, you knew whether they are going concern. So essentially what I'm using, the unfortunate event that happened with our sister Somoe is to put it across to all of us investors or all of us professionals that when you are investing, you need to understand the company you are putting your money with. And you ask yourself, what is the tax status of that investment vehicle? Ask yourself, how does that organization I want to buy its shares or invest through, how do they make money? How do they trade? If, for example, today you put your money in CIC, you know CIC invest in securities, and when they make money from investing in securities in government, they will give you a return. They invest in balanced fund, etc., etc. You know, when you put your money in Safaricom shares, for example, they use your money to offer telecommunication services and they get a return. You know, when you pick your money and you want to put it in KCB, you know KCB trends by selling loans, and that's how they make money and commissions on etc., etc. When you put your money in a circle, you know your circle is using the money to rent to the members through BOSA and FOSA loans, and end of the day, they will give you a return. So what I'm encouraging is having an understanding of where you are putting money. Let me give an example because I can see Eric has said he attended a training on treasury bills and bonds, but he is yet to open a CDS account. Take an example of this. If, for example, let's say Somoe had got 3 million, our moderator for today. Let's say she had 3 million and she put that 3 million, she had got 4 options to put the 3 million into. She has on the left-hand side of your screen, we have investment vehicle. Quorum 1. Under investment vehicle, we have infrastructure board, we have rental property, and we have current account deposit in the bank or savings account. So let's say Madam Somoe, CHRP Somoe picks 3 million, and she has got 4 options on where to take her money. If Madam Somoe took the 3 million and she invested in Quorum 2, the 3 million, Quorum 3 weighted average return. If she took the 3 million and put them in infrastructure board, which is paying 14.399% per annum, her gross income would be 3 million times 14.399, she would get 431,970. So end of the year, her 3 million has earned 431,970 by giving the government money. Then on the other column, the 431 she has earned from infrastructure board, it is tax exempt. So end of the year, Madam Somoe, she will have earned 431,970. In 5 years, she will have earned 2 million. By investing her 3 million, in 5 years, she has earned herself 2 million. So she has 3 million intact, and still she has earned 2 million. If she took the same money to rent a property, the average rental income in the country currently, average rental income is 8%. So then Somoe would be earning 240,000 gross, 30% tax goes with the taxman, then she is left with 168,000 per annum. If Somoe chose to keep that money in her current account in any of the bank she would choose, she would be earning 0. But her money will lose 9.2% inflation rate. So end of the day, from an inflation perspective, Somoe would have lost 270 by her money sitting in her current account that is not generating anything. If Somoe chose to put the money in a circle account, DOSA account, non-withdrawable savings account, let's say her circle is paying 12.5%. I've picked a rate for some of those big circles. Then she would be earning a gross amount of 375. Then at an tax rate 15%, then she would earn 318. Now, what I mean by this is that when I'm saying that action is what really matters, it's a question of you sitting down and agreeing which asset do you need to own. Now, let me put it this way. Honorable professionals, make sure that you have got a balanced assets portfolio. Balanced assets portfolio. Let me use your language as HR professionals. You are telling employees you need to be more skilled. That's the language you use to your employees. You need to be more skilled so that you can be able to pick up any role because you are more skilled. Even when you are employing them, you want somebody who is emotionally intelligent. You want someone who has got the right competencies, good temperaments. You need somebody, exactly, and all those stuff. So I'm encouraging you, you need to have a balanced, you need to have a balanced asset portfolio. Balanced asset portfolio is whereby, for example, you have savings in the circle, savings. This is the easiest one to have. Savings in your circle. And when you are choosing a circle, choose a circle that has reputation, a circle that has got reputation, a circle that you know at least for the last 5 years or 6 years, how much have they been paying? A circle where is regulated by SASRA. For example, in the region where you are, we have got circles that are operating there, like Mombasa Port Circle. Yeah, it's a regulated one, for example. Allow me to use that as an example. Yeah, so have a balanced portfolio, have savings in deposits. For example, you need to put money in money market fund, money market fund, money market fund, money market fund. Example is unit trust. Using the example of Betty, she has said she puts a little money in CIC. Now, you can have a money market fund account. CIC is the best paying in the country currently, followed by ICA, followed by Britam, going that way. So when do you get what I'm talking about? NSC, I mean, you get the ranking of the money market fund companies, you get it under CMA website. If you want to know a regulated circle, go to the website of SASRA. It's public information. Yeah. So then you need to have money put in fixed income securities. Fixed income securities is the third asset that I would encourage you to own. Number one, I've saved savings, money market fund, fixed income securities. Fixed income securities. So you need to open a CDS account with the Central Bank of Kenya. To start trading in fixed income securities, you need only 50,000. And there you start off yourself. You keep on accumulating. Yeah. Then another category of assets you need is to have investment in shares or stocks. Shares or stocks. Shares or stocks. Shares or stocks. Then you can have investments, if your choice, in real estate. Real estate. You could own either properties. You could own either properties of residential. Kama sasa, you can buy a property maybe in Mombasa there, you rent it out. Yeah, you can pick a loan from your circle, go buy a property, you rent it out, you'll be getting monthly income. For example, if you are working in a company whereby you are provided with housing, there is the staff quarters, then you are paying rent below, the rent you are paying to the employer. If you are provided a house, you are paying something that is below market rate. The difference between the market rate of rent and the rent you are paying to employer, this one you can pick a loan using that, and you go buy a property, you start earning rental income. That's the fifth asset I would encourage you to own. Alternatively, you don't need to construct. You can go and check and buy. I've seen, I had a customer, I will withhold the name, a customer who I was advising on real estate property. So they had like 20 million they wanted to put in real estate. So they were asking two questions. Do we build, do we buy plot and build? Or do we buy existing property and we start renting it out? So I encourage them to pick up a commercial rent facility here in Nairobi, and they picked a commercial property along Moi Avenue, whereby they subdivided it. Their annual, so they paid they paid what we call deposits and goodwill amounting to around 15 million. They took for themselves a sizable square foot and they partitioned it. So their monthly rental income from the partition commercial property house ambayo wamepeana kwa watu M-Pesa, cubes za retail shops hizi, cubes za boutique. So they have put it and they are getting good money. So we did calculations for them. real estate, or you can have your money in business. You could have your money either in farming. You can include an asset in farming, either poultry, either beef, either you hand value to the chain, whereby you get to hand value to any of the products within the farming sector, or you can invest in transport, hospitality sector, or invest in health sector. An example of myself, I have money working for me in health sector. I'm not a doctor, by the way, medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, but I earn money from health sector. How? I found a friend who is a pharmacist, and he has an asset known as pharmacy knowledge, but he did not have capital. So he has got a letter from the Poisons Hold of Kenya, because he is a pharmacist. The same way you are part of HRM because you are HR profession. Then me, I provided money, he provided skills. We started a chemist. And I'm earning, and I never dispense medicine. You will never find me in that chemist. So when I talk of health sector, you can get money from there. Some of you can be giving money, getting money from hospitality sector. You are giving Airbnb. So you pick some property up or Vipingo or within Shanzu or within Nyari, and you give it out as an apartment. So what I mean is that please take action. So let me give all these in the chat box. I'm saying you need to have a savings account with ASACO that is regulated by SASRA. ASACO regulated by SASRA. Please, I have to put that there. Regulated by SASRA. An example, Muko Mombasa, there are several of them. Mombasa Port Circle, I know they are giving very good rates. Another asset class you need is money market fund. Money market fund. And this you can use it to keep your emergency fund. And the moderator, let me encourage every of your professional listening to me. They need to have an emergency kitty covering 6 months. And this is not theoretical. This is not motivational talk. They need to have a 6 months cover of their expenses. So if your total expenses per month is 120,000, you need to have 720,000 sitting in an emergency fund. An example of how to create emergency fund is opening a money market fund account. You can either do it with CIC, you can either do it with ICA Ryan, or you can do it with Britam. I'm just giving, but please go do due diligence. I'm not an employee of CIC. I'm not an employee of ICA Ryan or Britam. Where have I given the authority to use this information? CMA website. I can give you the ranking from CMA website. So at least I know CIC is good. Am I investing with them? Yes. That's where my 6 months cover sits. 6 months cover of my expenses. That if my businesses were to fail, if all the other sources of income I have or my employment income was to stop, I should manage myself at least minimum of 6 months without blinking an eye, because I have a cover. What is this cover? Money I have deposited there, and it is earning me compound interest. A daily return, which end of the year it is annualized. So imagine. Another account asset I encourage you to have is fixed income securities. Either you have treasury bonds or treasury bills. Yeah. Either you have treasury bonds or treasury bills. So fixed income securities. Fixed income securities is an example of treasury bond treasury bonds or treasury bills or treasury bills. I'm doing that on your chat box. Treasury bills. Treasury bonds, they earn you. There are some that are taxable, there are others that are not taxable. If I give an example of Somoe, if she has 3 million in infrastructure board, it is giving her a return of 431,000 per annum without tax. Where have I gotten this, honorable colleagues? This return is there. Let me take all of us to the website of CBK. Yeah, let me take you to the website of CBK and show you what I'm calling fixed income securities. Let me take you to the website of CBK. Where is this? CBK. CBK. If you go to the website of CBK, you will find there is this. If you go to the website of CBK, Central Bank of Kenya, the website of the Central Bank of Kenya. This is the website of the Central Bank of Kenya. I hope you, someone confirm for me it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Good. So in the website of Central Bank of Kenya, you go under statistics, where my cursor is, statistics. You click bills and bonds. You can run about treasury bills from there or treasury bonds. I click treasury bonds. This will give me the treasury bonds auction results, starting with the latest one. So you can see currently the government of Kenya has reopened the fixed deposit, a 3-year-old board. I straight go to this one that was issued in March. You click there, it opens the result for you. This is what I'm calling a result of 17-year Treasury Board issue number 1 FB1 2023/17, dated 13th March 2023. So they floated 50 billion. The total bins they received, people who expressed interest to give government money, was almost 60 billion. So this is the rate where I have identified on a coupon rate. Coupon rate is what you earn. Where have I written in blue? 14%. So you can see this is our publication. And remember, this board is not affected by inflation. This board is not affected per se, as in the government will close down. And by the way, let me tell all of us, it is true the government is in a quagmire and crisis currently, but government never defaults. And don't be right with the issues that are going on with the economy of Ghana or Sri Lanka and the rest. Our economy, if you want to know, go to the website of Central Bank, you'll find what we call stability reports. So if we go back to, if this infrastructure board I have shown, it is what, let me use our sister Somoe. If Somoe, she is the one who have invested in this infrastructure board, and she has put 3 million into it. Yeah, she has put 3 million into it. This 3 million would earn Somoe for every year. Somoe would be earning 431,000. For 5 years, she is earning 2,179,000. So if she retained the same board for 17 years, how much money will she get? Somebody to go to the chart. 431,970 for 17 years. How much will Somoe would be getting? So you simply say 431,490 times 431,970 times 17 years. If she hold the board for 17 years, Somoe will have earned 7,343,490.
So when can we have the signed BSc?
When can we? Oh, sorry. I thought someone was speaking to me. Now, if somewhere you had put your money, the 3 million infrastructure board, for example, and you rock the 3 million for the next 17 years with the infrastructure board, you can see the return you will have gotten, Madam Somoy. 7 million. If every year this money you are reinvesting it, for example, in your circle, yeah, every year, let's say every year you reinvest the 431,000 unapata in your circle, then you will still be creating another 40,000 on top of it plus compounding interest. It would be very easy for you to either give harms, to either support the less fortunate, or even have a very happy retirement. If you combine this 17 million from the money you get from your provident fund or gratuity, yeah, and you put all that money again in a fixed deposit account or pick like 3 installments. And by the way, treasury bonds, they pay every 6 months, you receive your money as interest. Yeah. So I think that's well put in terms of treasury bonds. The other ones I've talked is shares or stocks for quoted companies in NSE. Please, as a starter, don't invest in over-the-counter as a starter. If you don't have expertise, put your money in the listed companies. Don't put your money in companies that are trading private if you are not an expert. You only put money there if you are willing to pay an expert to assist you. Because otherwise, information about performance of any stock, it is in their website and the website of NSE. If right now we open the website of NSE, we can see how the trading is happening. Yeah, we can see. Yeah, so stocks. So put your money in NSE if you need it as an asset class. Yeah, and maybe for the sake of being practical here, let me again go to the website here of NSE. We ask ourselves, really, what is it that we are calling NSE? Nairobi Securities Exchange. Yeah, and where do we get information about the shares that Daniel is talking about? Yeah, just a moment. Yeah, just a moment. The market trading data. Good, exactly. So let me share this screen. 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me share the screen. I will be asking us to go to the question segment shortly before I ask the moderator, I hand over to moderator. Now, that's the website of NSE. So it's loading. Good. So I'm now sharing the screen. So if you are investing in the stock market, you can see how the movement of the prices are going. Yeah. You can go to the website of CIC and you can see if which stock is trading at what price, at what time. You can even be able to get information on the shares in terms of the last 1 week, the last 1 month, the last 1 year. So you basically come to the publications here. Yeah, so and you will find how the market has been operating. So what I'm really encouraging all of you professionals is, even as we say invest, don't invest blindly. Basically, look for information, invest when you know exactly where you are going. Yeah. So in 2 minutes, let me explain what I call let me explain what I call types of capital. Because for us to make money, we all of us have this. Each one of us has got what we call mental capital and relationship capital. Mental capital is the ideas you have, knowledge, wisdom, and skills. If you have an idea of a business, check whether it's commercially viable. Ideas are generated from brainstorming, networking sessions you attend to. Ideas are generated from pairing up with reading about investments in the markets and all that. Knowledge, you get it by searching knowledge about the particular stock, the particular type of investment vehicle you want. Skills, it is by you analyzing. You remember me asking my sister, Madam Samoe, when she said that there is an organization, which we will not name, which didn't perform well, but she had put money there. Skills comes in you going to their website and seeking for the financial data. Even at your organization, you have accountants. And as an HR professional, you can tell them, please tell me what this financial statement is. Relationship capital, all of us have got this. Friends, family, colleagues, and organization. These people means a lot. Your friends means a lot because you can use their money and you don't need to borrow. By the way, friends can give you free money, what we call interest-free money. I've got one of my clients who is in Busia, and this client, she was starting a wholesale business. So I asked him, sorry, if you permit me, this client is of Somali descent. So he asked me, how can he raise capital for an idea he had of how to do wholesale business? I asked him, look for your friends first. And he was able to mobilize around 7 million from his friends. And that's how the gentleman started his business and expanded it. And he was able to pay them. Friends and family forms the first point of giving us a word about an opportunity or an investment or providing us money. Colleagues, they will support you even when you need social support. When an investment has gone haywire, they will support you. That's why you need to be good and also encourage your teams to be good, the organization. So if you pick the first two types of capital, mental and relationship, they give you what we call financial capital. They give you the money. Why do we need to invest? It's because we cannot be okay with getting paid 12 times in 365 days. You cannot have your account receiving money once every 30 days. Your account needs to receive money regularly from your businesses, from your investments that are paying quarterly or semi-annually. Yeah. I was given a chance in one of the corporates in the energy sector to go and speak to their staff on financial literacy for the people who are around 50 years old going upwards. But of course, they brought everybody for that retirement seminar. And one of the things I encourage when I'm speaking in corporate world to companies that invite me for a speak on financial literacy, it is that for everybody who is retiring or near to retire, they should know exactly what they shall do with their time and what they shall do with the money they will get from the company that employed them. So majority of them in that corporate, they were receiving very big paychecks, by the way, when they retire. And actually they do, because it's got a very good provident scheme and they have got good employment terms. So one of them ended up being my client after they retired, and they had got like 15 million, which was paid to them. It was 15 million plus some 100,000. So they came and we sat down and drew an investment plan. So they put money in fixed deposit account, they have money in fixed income securities, and they have money in the money market fund, and they put some of the 15 million to be earning them out of a business that would engage them on day-to-day basis. So the money they put in income securities, we assisted them to buy bonds that are paying interest on February, others are paying interest in June, others are paying interest in September, and others are paying interest in December. So at least the money they receive in February is able to last them the month of March, April, May, before they get the next payment from CBK on June. The same way. So they have planned the same income on top of the pension they are receiving per month. So you find it's easy. So what I am encouraging you, professional colleagues and the teams that you read, if you want to avoid these issues of canceling your staff now and then, drunkenness, absenteeism, family issues because they took their own and they used all of it, encourage them to have spare sources of income. That does not mean they will not be obedient, they will not be submissive. No. Money understands humbleness. Money understands humility. Even if you make how much, be quite humble. Be patient. Remain focused. If there is anything that takes away or erodes the vibe of investment is pride. Investment means somebody who understands focus, humility, focus, patience, humbleness. I mean, humility, focus, patience, resilient, and persistency. Those things are what makes an investor. Humility, focus on your goals, patience, resilience, and consistency. Good. So I think I put down my mic and encourage questions to come through by saying you need to make money, use that money to make more money, keep repeating the process, you'll find yourself getting there. Yeah. So I wish I could have gone through this, but because of time, I leave it for now. The same way you, honorable colleagues, you have the balance scorecard, you are using annual targets, you have a work plan, you have a personal development. Even you ask, by the way, I know you ask every of your employee to show you their personal development plan. You even do performance appraisal for them at work. But on the other side, do you have a financial plan yourself? Now that you have a balance scorecard that you are operating with, do you have a personal financial plan? Do you have a spending plan? Do you have a budget? Imagine. On this other side, you know, personal finance, the reason it is personal, there is no supervisor. There is no HR to tell you you did not meet your targets. There is no immediate line manager to tell you, yo, you know what? You are not within your targets. Personal finance is personal because it is only dependent on you and the actions you take and how focused and consistent you remain. So please, you are not born to just go to work, pay bills, and die. No. We are born to leave a legacy. Please make money so that you can be able to support 1 or 2, 3 families. You can pay, you can give scholarship to 1 or 2 students, and you keep quiet about it. Make money so that even you can be able to give out to your mosque or your church or your temple. Make money so that you can be able to leave it to generations to come. Not your money to hand whenever you have paid the bills. Yeah. So the last point I'll put is here. For you to succeed, the formula for financial freedom, it is having the right mindset, RM, right knowledge, and the right practices. Right knowledge, right mindset, right knowledge, and right practices. Right mindset is that you should be a net producer, not a net consumer. Right mindset is that you need to know it will only take you to be financially free, and even advising the teams that you are leading, it is only take them. The employer is not responsible for anybody's financial freedom. The government is not responsible for your financial freedom. You alone is responsible. God is not, devil is not. Because I know we blame devil sometimes. There is, you know, you may find you have an employee where you are working who will tell you, you know, the temptations too. How come you pass through a pub and you stay there from Friday to Sunday and you are saying need temptations too? No, you could have used time differently. They need to understand that. There is no way somebody will pass to akipita boutique ni kununua tu, akipita kwa mall ni kununua tu, hakuwa na plan. Without mindset of I need a budget, I need to plan. I want to have, by the time I retire, I need to have 3 million in fixed income securities. I need to have 1 million in money market. I need my provident fund to give me 5 million. Then my pension will be coming of 30 or 50,000 per month. I need to have this business running. You cannot wait until you retire for you to invest. That is what I'm calling the right mindset. The right mindset. Right knowledge. Where do you get information to generate cash flow, flowing assets? Then make practice. Please, I encourage all of you listening to me, honorable HR professionals, team leaders, people managers. I am very grateful that you joined. But please, do yourself and me a favor. Create at least one more source of income. Reinvest your dividends from your circle. Reinvest the money you are getting from money market. Over a short time, you'll find yourself becoming. Put your money in hospitality sector, health sector. Put your money in, I mean, there are so many avenues. Now, I can only say much. So I wish to end there. I wish to end there and say, how is your income basket formulated? Let me hand over to Madam Somoe. Thank you so, so much. Let me open the floor for questions. Madam Somoe, you could coordinate. Thank you. We have 10 minutes. We could ask questions. Madam Somoe, could you be there, or Chairman Isaac?
Okay, thank you very much, Bwana Daniel. You have done justice to this this forum. Now let's welcome questions. You can unmute yourself, ask a question. You can take 2, 3, and then we see how it responds. But before that, Bwana Daniel, there was a question, somebody, or rather a request from somebody, Edna Rono.
Yes,
She
about the
wanted to-
50,000.
The 50,000, yes.
Oh, very good. Thanks so much, Edna, for that question. I had noted it. Thank you for reminding me about it, Chairman. Now,
Yes.
Edna, when I talk of the 50,000, is that whenever you are investing in the treasury bonds and treasury bills, you buy them in units of 50,000. Units of 50,000. By that, I mean, for you to, maybe let me I backtrack a bit. For you to start investing in treasury bonds and treasury bills, number one, you need a CDS account opened with the Central Bank of Kenya. And pre-Central Bank of Kenya hapa Mombasa, it is open for public as well. Majority of us tend to think that it's not accessible to public. But by the end of this month, let me not speak with authority. I'm not a representative of Central Bank. By end of this month, you will be able to open a CDS account from your phone. You don't need to visit them physically. But I'm hoping everything goes on. Where have I gotten that information? From the press release given in the month of March. They want to make it easy for every Kenyan to open a CDS account. Open a CDS account. Next thing is make a decision on the instrument you want. An instrument, it is the type of investment. Do you want to buy treasury bill or treasury bond? Once you made a decision, you will be pressing all bills. Requests to make purchase are pressed between Tuesday and Thursday. Between Tuesday and Thursday, that's when ndio soko imefunguliwa. As in, you can be secondary market. You can choose. There is what we call primary and secondary market. Secondary market is whereby you are buying existing bonds that are trading. Primary market is the new floated bonds that government is selling. So then you only buy them in units of one treasury bond or treasury bill will be determined by the units. Let me show Madam Edna as I give a floor to somebody else to ask a question quickly. Maybe I show her what I mean by that. 1 minute, please, 1 minute, 1 minute. If you come to this, what I have screened there, if you come to that, the units, sorry, not that. Let me, you can have here. Let's pick an example of, the newly listed one here. Good. So if you pick the current board that was reopened, this one, you can see they have opened the board. The minimum you need to purchase a board does not it. Basically, Edna, you can get more of this information of what I'm talking about. The minimums is 50 as units. The same way you cannot buy less than 100 shares from NSC. You buy them 100 going upwards. So if you have 50,000, you can purchase a unit of treasury bonds. If you have 1 million, then it means you will be having several units of 50,000 going that. So thanks so much. Let me open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much. There is another Eric Mudomi. I think
yes.
He says, I find that most of the people I work with tend to prefer bank loans rather than SACCO, especially teachers. Which one is better, or it depends on different factors?
Good. Thank you, Chairman Isaac. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Eric, for the question. I will answer it this way. When you are making a decision to pick a loan, you need to ask yourself the following questions. Why am I borrowing? You need to ask yourself the following questions. Why am I borrowing? Why? Let me take you to that side. Whenever you pick a loan, before you pick any loan, you need, or anybody you advise, they need to know, why am I borrowing? Are they borrowing for income deficit or for capital? Loan is not a source of income. Loan is a source of capital. Whenever you are borrowing, you need to ask, am I acquiring lifestyle debts? Lifestyle debt is any debt that is going to fund your lifestyle. It is not going to generate money. Yeah. Second thing is, do you have our own plan? Third thing, never divert the funds to a purpose which you want, your intention was not, unless after careful risk-benefit analysis. Remind yourself, loan is a liability. It's not an asset to you. If you pick a loan of 3 million, you are 3 million liable. Number 5, if you pick a loan, and by this I need everybody to go to their chat box. If you pick a loan of 3 million, after you pay this loan for 60 months, 96 months, on the 97th month, you should be equals to the 3 million you borrowed plus interest you paid to the lender, whether it's the bank or your SACCO, plus profits you have generated, profits generated over the 96 months. If that's not the case, you are doing unworthy borrowing. Have you found a person who picks a loan after 6 months, they top up again? Not that they are not topping up so that they increase working capital in their business, so that they build another floor in their rental property. They are not topping up so that they buy a second matatu now that they have the first one on the road. No, they are topping up because they took money for liabilities. Is it wrong to refinance? No. Are you refinancing for expansion or for deficits on your income? Now, I come to the question of Mr. Eric. SACCO loans are cheap because our SACCO will give you a loan at 1% reducing balance. Others will give you a loan at 1.2% reduce 5% reducing balance. Hizi ni loans zile mnapewa kwa BOSA loans. BOSA loans. BOSA ni normal development. Wachana na hizi zinapeanwa on your net income, ile imeingia kwa FOSA account. So SACCO will give you cheap loan. If, for example, you are picking a loan at 1% reduced balance or 1.5 or 1.25, so basically SACCO loans are cheaper. The other advantage you have in the SACCO over the bank is, in the bank you don't need savings, but in the SACCO you need savings. So the SACCO will assist you achieve 2 things: to save and also to get cheap credit. The bank will not assist you to save, but they will give you expensive loans. Now, what are the factors that depends? In the SACCO, you will be required to provide a guarantor or a collateral. If you are building a home, they will attach it. If you are buying a car, they will attach it. If you are buying treasury bonds, probably, I don't know whether it's the SACCOs, probably, they have not gotten to that level, of course. Eric, having said what I have screened, a SACCO loan is cheaper than the bank. Remember, the bank does not exist to serve your interest. In the bank, you are a customer. In the SACCO, you are an investor, a customer, and a shareholder. There is this bank in our country that made 46 billion. I will use it. Of course, some of you could have bought their shares. Equity Bank. They made 46 billion. How much of that money has come to you? But if your SACCO made 18 billion or 5 billion, they paid you interest on deposit. So simply SACCO loans are cheaper compared to the banks. But it depends on whether the SACCO you are in is able to meet your funding need because of liquidity. But at least I know some of the SACCOs that are around the community where you are in, like Mombasa Port SACCO, they can give you a loan of a very big amount within a short duration of time. But after getting money corrects, please, I encourage everybody who has listened to me today, please don't put your money in liabilities. When you borrow money, please put it in assets. Stop this thing of putting money in nothing. And by the way, I'm not here as a stingy man. I'm encouraging you have a good home, have a good car, go for a good holiday, but not on loan. Start by building assets. So please take care of all these things. Why am I borrowing? How much? How much? Never divert funds. Loan is not an asset, it's a liability. After you pay your loans and all that. Please, thank you so much for that question, Eric. I know I'm very passionate about that. That's why I'm
Thank you.
giving my all. But please pick loans from the circle or encourage. I know you are asking for someone. Encourage people to pick loans from circle first. Thank you. Over to you, Isaac, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you, members or professionals who have joined today. I think there is need actually to have this interaction because I can see we have all remained up to this end, just around 2 hours, having a discussion on this kind. Thank you very much, Daniel. I think we will keep on interacting together. We will engage so that we find a way if we can engage more on financial literacy. I wish also to just thank each and every member who have joined today. We will continue planning for more engagement as well. If it is about financial or any other topic that is we are supposed to pick. First and foremost, I just realized again with the current affairs, you see what is happening within the country. And HR professional, we are supposed to be guiding in one way or another, or rather, like the mental health that we kept on discussing. I just realized again that today we have a discussion about what is happening with the religion. Is it a mental health? Is it something that happened? Is it about financial? If it is not about financial, I saw one employee actually resigned from a from where he works, and then give the money out. You see, those are the things that needs to be what we call current affairs, and we need to discuss. We need to have those discussions as well. Is it mental? Is it something that we need to? I think HR professional, we have a lot to do. And for this case, I really appreciate each and every one. Thank you for joining, and thank you for participating today. Daniel, is there anything that you want to add? Just, I think I can see I have only 1 minute to clear.
Thank you so much, Chairman Isaac. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to your professionals, and thank you, the team that organized this together with your leadership. I really want to appreciate each and every HR professional who have joined, and others who may not be of your profession, probably, who have joined. Thank you so much. My only clarion call to all of us, Juan Isaac, is action is what changes things.
Action is what changes things. I would be very grand anytime any of you find me in Mombasa. I regularly come to I'm from Kilifi over this weekend. I was telling Isaac, please, I would be excited. You greet me and say, I opened a CDS account. I have increased money in my share circle. I'm better using my loans. So thank you so much. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, the team. Have a great afternoon. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm available for more deeper conversation. May it be for your retirees, may it be for your newly recruited people, may it be for your organization, wherever you would wish us to have this conversation, we are grand. Asanteni, and thank you so much. Thank you. There's somebody who's actually requested for a presentation, and I will urge each and every person to check the YouTube, IHRM YouTube, and search for Coast Eastern for specific date. This is today. And then you will have the full discussion that we had today. So kindly, you can join. The presentation also will be there because you are looking at protecting somebody's presentations like what Daniel has done. So go to YouTube, check your YouTube, and then subscribe to it actually, and all shall be well. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Great afternoon.
Great afternoon.